What is up, everybody? Jason, aka Jester, and today I finally get to bring you one of my favorite things to cook and a backyard barbecue staple, and that is going to be pulled pork. Now, I don't expect today's going to be a very long video because I'm not going to show you the full 10-hour cook that it's going to take, but I do want to show you some tips and tricks that I use that maybe could make your pulled pork a little bit better next time you make it. First thing is, I select Boston butt. You can do a pork picnic or a pork shoulder roast. I find those have a little bit more fat content than what I like in it when it finally breaks down. Boston butt seems to have just about the right content of fat, and it works out beautifully every time. So spend a couple extra bucks and buy that. The second thing is the fat cap on the back. Now, I didn't trim this. This was actually trimmed at the store, and I'm a little disappointed that they took that much of it off. Even though I'm not paying for the weight, I still like to cook this upside down so the fat kind of drizzles back into the meat. We will just have to deal with that today. The next little tip that I like to use, and this is something that was completely by accident, but a few times ago when I was making pulled pork, I went across the street because I'd forgotten apple juice, because I usually inject an apple juice and brown sugar mixture into my pulled pork. And they didn't have apple juice, and I was distraught, and I was looking around like, what can I possibly find? And well, the closest thing I could find was this. This is Snapple Apple. Now, I'm not going to be able to put my finger on exactly what makes this better, but I know that it's got a little pear juice in it. And so what we did was we took about a quart of that and we mixed it with some brown sugar. From there, if you guys don't have one of these, I highly recommend maybe taking a peek. And that's going to be one of these injectors. This one's not super expensive. I'll put a link in the description for you. This is just a Charbroil brand injector, and pretty much stainless steel. It's going to last you a long time, so it's worth the $20 or $30 investment if you do this. I use this on a lot of different things. I've injected turkey with butter and or buffalo sauce, done lots and lots of different stuff. So basically what you do is you got to dip the tip of that down into your juice that you're going to shoot in, and you just start going in and shooting in it. Go nice and slow so you don't shoot too much of it out. And that's pretty much it. Now, a lot of times, too, you can do this the night before and then rub it up after you get that done and just let it sit so everything kind of soaks in. Let me get it all shot up here with the juice, and then I'll show you the next step. Now that we have all of that injected, all I'm really going to do is take some of our rub. This is that Woody's rub that I really like to use, and as soon as I can find an Amazon link for that, I will put it in the description or put it in my kit, which is always in the description. If you guys ever want to find any of the stuff that I use, I try to keep that updated. You can go in there and you can click it and it'll take you to an Amazon page. And if you buy from that link, it will actually support the channel. So thank you guys for doing that if you so choose. But pretty much with pulled pork, there is no limitation on how much rub you can put in there. This is all going to be broken down and shredded anyway. So you pretty much want to get really, really good coverage all the way around. Don't be shy with your rub. And that's pretty much looking great. Pat that into it a little bit. And that's another little tip too that some people don't know, that when you put a dry rub on something, you can pat it down into it, and we'll actually make some of it stay more than it would fall off. So now that we got that all done, we're going to put this in our Traeger smoker. We're going to put it on smoke cycle for about 2.5 hours. We're then going to turn it up to 250, and then after a little while, maybe 3 or 4 hours of that, I'm actually going to put it back in this pan, and then we're going to cover that with foil. This will let us get it done a little bit quicker. So let me go ahead and get this thing cooking because we got a long day ahead of us. And then I will see you guys back here on the cutting board with everything all done. When everything is all said and done, you're going to know that this pork is done based on this bone basically sliding right out of this pulled pork. It comes out nice and clean, and it's wonderful. Another excellent tool that you can probably pick up pretty cheap is going to be these guys. These are what they call bear paws. Mine are pink. That's in honor of Mom and her fight against breast cancer. But what you can do at that point is just take this, and then it makes it super, super easy to shred. You can also drain the fat if you want to. I like to kind of reincorporate it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. This part takes a little bit. Let me show you the very last thing that we're going to talk about today, and then we'll go from there. The very last thing that I want to show you guys, and this is going to be a big one, because it doesn't just apply to pulled pork, it applies to a lot of different foods. This is a food saver. This is an actual storage system that you can actually seal and store meat or foods for an extended period of time in your freezer. Something like pulled pork, unless you got a big family, you're probably not going to get it all ate in one day, maybe not even two. This is a great way to put this back and be able to save that for a later date, maybe when money's a little tighter. Hopefully you guys like this kind of stuff. I love making this kind of stuff. And trust me when I tell you, the pulled pork is going to be making a comeback here in a couple of weeks, because I got a sandwich that's going to knock your block off. If you enjoyed it, hit like, think about subscribing. We got so much more coming in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.